So it's that time. A motherfucker this has been long awaited by my fucking self for the longest fucking time. The year was 2022. It is Thursday, September the 15th. Motherfucker. A motherfucker has been trying to get himself together for the last 7 fucking years, and I'm finally doing it. Both avenues of what I want to do and been wanting to do for the longest fucking time. I'm working on my music, and I'm finally putting my thoughts out there. Like a fucking phoenix. Like, shit, man. A motherfucker is finally doing it. So this is basically a rant, a tantrum, whatever the fuck you want to call it, because this has been long awaited by myself and whoever will be listening to this and be listening to it very attentively, because I don't know where to begin. Being a motherfucker who's, they say, cursed with knowledge. Being a motherfucker who's been different his whole life. I've been through a lot of shit. Well, no, that's a lie. I haven't been through a lot, but what I've been through did a lot to me. You know what I mean? So here we go. I don't know where to start. I guess I'll start with something beyond most people's rationale and then break some of it down. Though it's a lot to get into, so fuck it. We'll do it like this. We'll talk about politics real quick. Fuck real quick. We'll talk about politics. People, these neoliberals, these fake liberals, push Joe Biden like he's supposed to be a savior, like they did Obama, because he was the only other option besides Trump. Trump, oh my God, ridiculous. And people who want Trump back in office don't realize half the shit he did. He had the most lobbyists of any president in the history of this country. The most lobbyists. Republicans will sit there and tell your ass, he's God's savior. They have the audacity to compare him to Jesus. And that's a whole other conversation that I don't want to get into at this very fucking moment. But they compare him to Jesus. Motherfuckers think he's the savior. Like, this is like if Jesus is a blue-eyed cracker, here is Trump, and this is it. This is the coming of fucking Jesus. Like, motherfuckers are ridiculous. Not only that, to push that even further, because I don't want you to think this is just some random dude talking about some random bullshit. Nah, look this up. Everything I'm going to tell you, look it up. You shouldn't believe anything anybody says unless you know what your fucking self. And the only way you know something is if you go and look for it. So do that. Always do that. Doesn't matter who the fuck it is. So look it. Donald Trump. I'm calling all this from mine because I know I got a lot of shit on my mind that I've had on my mind for the longest time. And y'all, and if anybody knows anything about the conscious and subconscious mind, predictive programming and all that shit, optics and how neuroplasticity, how we see what affects how we adapt, oh my God, epigenetics, the list goes on. But Donald Trump had the most lobbyists in office and in his cabinet than any president before him and after him, because Joe Biden don't even have as many. So he also had the reporting of drone strikes minimized. He didn't eliminate it, but he had it minimized. So if they accidentally, yet again, because they done it before, if they accidentally killed a bunch of people that weren't target, we're not gonna know about it. Matter of fact, now that I mentioned that, I know anybody born before the 90s, if they watched any bit of the news after 9/11, they'll recall a time when you could watch the TV and see part of the war. You got to see part of the war. I, as a kid, when I'd watch Channel 8 and kept the channel on all afternoon and into the evening, they would show you the I don't know what to call it, the death log. It would show you the soldiers who died and their names. it would show you every single day. It would show you the soldiers who died and their names. And it wouldn't be that many. Some days it'd be more, some days it wouldn't be many. And I don't remember how long it would last. I don't remember. All I know is that it was the hour before sunset or the hour after sunset, because it was dark when I would step outside. But I remember that PBS would show you the soldiers who died in the war. They stopped doing that, I don't know when. I think at the end of Bush's and the beginning of Obama's presidency. Because something that it also, shout out to Mortini, something that, matter of fact, shout out, yo, real quick, shout out to Amir and his podcast, his channel. Fuck YouTube, even though it's the platform I'm speaking on. So what? Fuck the government. Like, motherfucker. Like, we're at a point where fascism is ready to just be installed. Like, fuck it. Anyone within 100 miles of the border is subject to a no-knock raid for any particular reason. Like I can go on. Like. And see, that's another thing Republicans forget. Bush pushed the Patriot Act, and then that lady, the black woman who stood against it, saying this. Even shout out to Ron Paul, even though he was low-key racist at one point in time. But that's another conversation I wouldn't mind getting into. But that woman who so the Patriot Act also was followed by a bill that gave the United States to go to any war without congressional approval. So this bill, sipping my tea, this bill would allow the United States to go to war without declaring war, quote unquote. Because we haven't been declaring war since World War II. We didn't declare war on Korea, if I recall correctly. We didn't declare war on Cambodia. We didn't declare war on Vietnam. We didn't declare war on fucking Somalia and all the other countries that we're involved in that have our manifestation of our violent mentality, this capitalist mentality. Yet another fucking conversation. But where was I? I forgot where I was. But that's essentially the point of this. But Donald motherfucking Trump. You realize that when it came to Hillary versus Trump, the people on Trump's side had their heart in it. That's the real fucking difference. Trump's people have their heart in it. They want him to win. They need him to win. They believe in him. People on the quote unquote on the left side, what we call left in this country, which yet again, shout out to Immortal Technique. Like he speaks on some of this shit sometimes in his lives. And I remember when I first bumped his album, I fucked with it heavy back in like 2016 when I first heard of him. I was like, oh my god, finally somebody talking about some shit that actually fucking matters. Oh my god. Y pa' que sepan, a lot of you, there's a lot of you Latinos out here coming. Sometimes you call yourself Hispanic. Some of you actually are, others not so much. But a lot of you Latinos out here, motherfuckers is over here. I understand why you went to the right as far as what we call the political spectrum. You went to the right. I bet that was me. But I didn't just jump into it like a lot of you have done. Like, goddamn, some of the shit y'all be pushing is damn near racist. Matter of fact, it is racist. Fuck that. We're at a point where it's just you can't just say some shit and not think it's where you actually stand. Like, fucking hell. Dude. Back to Trump. So, discúlpame. So back to Trump. Donald fucking Trump. People talk about the civil war in Yemen. We sponsored a civil war in Yemen. Donald Trump didn't do anything to change that, hinder that, or aid that, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Speaking of aid, I think he didn't complete his promise on Mexico paying for the border. He didn't complete his promise on Hillary Clinton being charged with Gaza and all that shit that you Republicans were like, oh, Hillary needs to be hanged for this treachery. Treachery? You motherfuckers are bitching complain about welfare for poor people, but don't bitch and complain about welfare for the corporations that should have been taken out in 2008. Now with this whole what Emoto Technique calls the great rebate, what some of you motherfuckers call the great reset during the pandemic and after the pandemic, which is another fucking conversation among another fucking conversation within another conversation. Oh my God, this list goes on. And believe me, I'm finally vocalizing my motherfucking self. And like I said, the shit that happened to me, hey, I'm in my early 20s, man. In your early 20s is when you finally start to look back at certain shit that happened to you. And you start looking forward at what you want to do. And you just gotta see what it is you want and see who it is you are. Because what you are is not who you are, and who you are is not what you are. But they're intertwined. Like they say, how you do one thing is how you do another. Like they say. They also say, so I'm already hitting 10 fucking minutes. I'm gonna try to keep these under 20, cause 20 is my break time. That's how long my breaks are at work. I'm not at work right now. I'm home. I'm chilling. What he said, that part. So, I mean, shit. Donald Trump is not the answer, but neither is Joe Biden. People are talking about Trump 2024. Anybody saying Trump 2024 is a racist at this point. And if they're fucking ignorant, well, the Egyptians say ignorance is evil. So, motherfucker, look, the point of this motherfucking video, even though it's not really a video, it's audio video, whatever the fuck. But look, cinnamon lifestyle I'm living in. Yeah, but and everything in between, yo. But shout out to my cousin. Shout out to the whole family. Shout out to Trip Club. Everything I am, everything I stand for, my brand, all that shit, who I am, what I do, how I want to do it. I'm not perfect. I'm getting close to it. Shout out to Amir. And a strong shout out to everybody that fuck with me, who I fuck with, who love me, who I love. Which is probably some of you already, which may be redundant, but it needs to be said. Thank you. I appreciate you, your kindness, and you have my gratitude from the deepest part of my heart. Beef and broccoli. Speaking of beef and broccoli, I gotta have some motherfucking breakfast, alright? Alright, peace.